Hi, today I'm going to read for you the end, the last two chapters in The King of Show and Tell. Okay, Ready Freddy book by Klein. Okay, so in chapters 1 through 6, Freddy's friend Robbie brought an alligator head for show and tell, and now it's Freddy's turn for show and tell, and he wants to find something cool. But he went home with Robbie, and they found a bird that was hurt with a broken wing out on the lawn. And the bird is in Freddy's bedroom. He wants to take it to school, but his parents, if they find the bird, are going to be very angry. So his sister promised not to tell the mom and dad that Freddy has this bird, okay? And the bird's name is Winger. Okay? Chapter 7, Peep! I was able to keep Winger a secret all weekend, but now it was Monday morning, and I had to find a way to get him to school. Today, I was going to be the king of show and tell. I was going to have something better than Robbie, something that all the kids would think was really cool. I just had to figure out how to get Winger to school today, without my mum finding out. I carefully put Winger in his box and ran downstairs for breakfast with the box hidden under my arm. "Oh, there you are," said my mum. "I thought you had fallen back asleep. You have to start getting up earlier. You know, there's an old saying that the early bird catches the worm." "Yeah," I said and laughed. "Robbie told me that once." "Well, what would you like to eat for breakfast?" "Peep." "What was that?" "What was what?" "Peep." "That? It sounded like your box just said peep." "Mom, I think you're going crazy. Boxes don't peep." So here he is hiding the box. Maybe it's not good to call your mom crazy. "Well, I could have sworn I heard a bird chirping." "You did," Susie said. I glared at her and mouthed the words. "You heard that little blue jay that's right outside the window." I mouthed back. "Well, it sure sounded like it was right here in this room," my mom said. So here's Susie pointing to the bird out the window. She did help. Yeah, sometimes she's a good sister. "Honey, there aren't any birds in the kitchen," my dad said from behind his newspaper. "Anyway, Freddy, why do you have your baseball card box with you?" I hadn't thought that far ahead yet, so I said, "Mom, can I have some of that sugar cookie crunch?" "Sure, honey," she said, pouring me a bowl of cereal. "Here you go." Peep. "There it is again," my mom said. "You must have heard that." My dad put down his paper. "Honey, why don't you go back to bed? I think you're still a little tired." "I know you all think I'm crazy, but there is something peeping in this kitchen." "Maybe it's the fire alarm," Susie said. She's still trying to help Freddy. "Yeah," I said. "Whenever the battery is low, they make that bird peeping sound." "Good thinking, kids," said my dad. Then he turned to my mom. "I'm sure that's what it is, honey. I'll check when I'm done with breakfast." "Okay." She turned back to me. "Freddy, you still haven't answered my question." "Why do you have your baseball card box with you?" Because I have to bring it to school." Boy, was that a dumb answer. "You do? I thought you weren't allowed to bring trading cards to school." "You're not, but..." I turned to Susie and mouthed. "Yeah, normally you're not," she butted in. "But today is a special day in first grade, and you can bring them in just for today." "Yeah, just for today. Mrs. Wushi said you could share your special collections." "Really? Well, then why aren't you bringing in your shark collection?" my mom asked. "Because the kids have already seen all of my shark stuff, but they haven't seen my baseball cards." "Well, okay. If Mrs. Wushi said it was all right," said my mom. "I just don't want you to lose them." "Oh, I won't," I said, hugging the box close. "I won't." Chapter 8, the last chapter. The King of Show and Tell. I didn't want the kids to see Winger until it was time for show and tell. I wanted it to be a big surprise. If I brought him in the box, the kids would start asking me questions as soon as I got in the door. "Is that your show and tell? What's in the box? Can I look in the box?" No, I would have to hide him until show and tell time. Very difficult plan here. Before the bell rang, I hid behind the playhouse and carefully lifted him out of the box and put him in the pocket of my sweatshirt jacket. Peep! It's okay, Winger, I whispered into the pocket. Oh, whispered. It's okay, Winger, I whispered into the pocket. Pocket, you'll be all right in there. Bring, bring, bring. The bell was ringing. It was time to go in. Peep! Shh! We don't want anyone to hear you. Now go to sleep, I said. I left the box behind the playhouse and walked into the classroom. Hey, Robbie said, grabbing my arm. How's that little bird we found? Oh, he's fine. Is his wing getting better? Here, putting the bird in his pocket. Yeah, I think it's almost all better. Maybe I can come see him today. Oh, you'll see him today, I smiled as I went to sit down on the rug. Good morning, everyone, said Mrs. Wooshie. This morning, I am going to read you one of my favorite stories. Are You My Mother? It's about a little bird who falls out of a tree and goes looking for his mother. It's a good book. I think you're going to like this one, Winger, I whispered into my pocket. Did you say something, Freddy? Asked Mrs. Wooshie. Oh, I was just telling Robbie that I think I'm going to like this one. Yes, but now I need you to zip your lips and be a good listener. Mrs. Wooshie started to read. As she read, I put my hand in my pocket and rubbed Winger's head, hoping that it would keep him quiet. Are you my mother? He said to the kitten. Peep. Are you my mother? He said to the hen. Peep. Mrs. Wooshie stopped. Boys and girls, whoever is making that peeping sound needs to stop. I don't think it's funny. She continued. Are you my mother? He said to the dog. Peep. Max, is that you? Asked Mrs. Wooshie. So here's Max. No, said Max, laughing. I told you I didn't like it when you made noises while I was trying to read. It's not me. She continued. Are you my mother? He said to the cow. Peep. Max, that is enough. You are being rude and interrupting the class. Please go sit in a chair. But, Max stammered. No buts. Go sit in that chair. You are in timeout, said Mrs. Wooshie. So she's angry at Max. But really it's Winger. Okay? I really did not like Max Sellers. He was always so mean to everyone. He was the biggest bully in the whole first grade. So I shouldn't really care that he was getting a timeout for something he didn't do. He deserved it for all the other times he had done stuff to us and had never gotten caught. But I couldn't help myself. I still felt bad for him. He was getting in trouble for something that I did. It's not Max. Excuse me, said Mrs. Wooshie. It's not Max, I said. He didn't do it. Well then, who did? So here, Max. Max is telling Mrs. Wooshie. It's not Max. I did. You did? Asked Mrs. Wooshie. Well, not me exactly. What are you talking about? Mrs. Wooshie asked, exasperated. Actually, it was a bird, I said. Freddy, there are no birds in our classroom. And if you don't explain this to me in 1 minute, you are going to be in timeout too. I pulled Winger out of my pocket. Oh, he's so cute, said Jessie. Ew, he's all dirty and he's covered with germs. Get him away from me, said Chloe, jumping to her feet. Freddy, said Mrs. Wooshie, why do you have a bird in your pocket? Please don't be mad, Mrs. Wooshie, I said, beginning to sniffle. I just wanted to bring something really cool for show and tell, and I wanted it to be a surprise. Well, that certainly is a surprise. Can we hold it? Can we hold it? All the kids started asking. Freddy, I should be angry that you sneaked this bird into class and interrupted the story. Sorry, I sniffed harder as a tear rolled down my cheek. But I'm not. You're not? Not angry? No, I'm actually proud of you that you stood up for Max. You were a good friend, and you told the truth. Because you didn't want him to get a timeout for something he didn't do. Max, said Mrs. Wooshie, I think I owe you an apology. I'm very sorry. I should have believed you when you told me it wasn't you making that sound. Can I come back to the rug now, Mrs. Whooshy? Max asked. I want to see Freddy's cool bird. Of course you can. Max, Freddy, would you like to come up and share your bird with the class? As I walked to the front of the room, I could hear the kids' oohs and ahs and the chorus of, let me see, I want to see. I went to sit down on the sharing chair, but today it wasn't just an old chair. It was a throne, because today I was the king of show and tell. Now here, this word here, kids, it has S and apostrophe. So when you see this word, you have to say kids, oohs and ahs. Okay? Many kids and their words, oohs and ahs. And there, that is the king of show and tell. And there's Winger. Okay? And Max is like super proud. Okay. There's some games and activities you can do back here. And there's lots of other Freddy books. Okay? I recommend them. They're really fun. Bye-bye.